Hey, welcome back. For the past 2 years, I've carried a SwissChamp in my pocket almost every day. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to show you the tools that I've used a lot, the tools that I've used a little, and the tools that I haven't used at all. But first, let me tell you about the 8,000 subscriber giveaway. I'll be giving away this Tactical Geek sling bag, brand new, and an Axwell wallet, also brand new. And I'll be giving away a Fintizo Odyssey, also brand new. And a Me Plus pocket notebook, also brand new. And I'll be adding in other items as we go along. As soon as we get close to 8,000 subscribers, I'll do another video telling you the details about the giveaway. So stay subscribed. Click that little bell icon so you'll know when that video comes up. And let's get into it. Let's start with the scale tools. I haven't used the pen not one time, but I'm glad I've got it. I've used the little straight pen probably 2 or 3 times, maybe once to remove a splinter, and I think I've used the pen one time to push the pins out of a watch band. I have used this little screwdriver a few times on my eyeglasses, and it's just right for that. I've used the tweezers several times to remove a tick from my dog. And I have used the toothpick several times as a toothpick. Here's the tools on back. Right there is where that little straight pin lives. And right there is where that little screwdriver lives. I've used the corkscrew maybe once or twice to loosen up a tight knot, but I've never used it to open up a bottle of wine. This little chisel I have used a few times to clean the gunk out of my tobacco pipe. Works pretty good on that. That is a sharp little chisel too. So if you ever need to do any little chiseling, that's a tool right there. This little dolphin-shaped screwdriver I have never used. And the parcel hook, the first year I had it, I think I used it to wrap around a wire on a grape arbor and pull it tight. Other than that, I can't ever remember using my parcel hook. And this little sewing awl, I've used several times. I've used it to bore a hole into drywall to put those little 1/4-inch vinyl anchors in. That is just the right size to do that with. And then you can use the screwdriver to screw the screw in. Victorinox calls this little keyring loop a tool. So that's one of the however many tools are on this, they're counting that as one. And you know what? I guess it is, because I use that constantly because I hang my knife in my pocket like that, using one of these little pocket suspension hooks. So I guess for me, that really is a tool, and I actually use it. Some people push that in or break it off or just let it be. But I actually use mine. Having this little suspension clip on there, you can hang that in your pocket, and it doesn't consume your pocket. It just kind of stays over to one side of your pocket. It makes carrying this Swiss brick possible. I don't think without this, I would be able to carry this in my pocket. I would have to have like a belt pouch or something, because that big heavy thing would go right straight to the bottom of my pocket, and that would irritate the crap out of me. But like this, that's no problem. And now the opening layer. This is a very common layer on a lot of different Swiss Army knives. Not all of them have this, but a lot of them do. And it's got a screwdriver, bottle cap lifter, wire, bender stripper, and a can opener with another little screwdriver on there. and I have used the screwdriver a lot, both as a screwdriver and as a little pry tool. It's got an excellent half stop, so it's really, even though it's not a locking blade, it's very secure. And it has such a good half stop in it because it's got a kind of a U-shaped groove milled out in there. And then this back spring has got a little bit of a hook to it. And when it goes back in there, it catches really good. So an excellent flathead screwdriver and a really good little pry tool. I wouldn't pry a whole lot on it, but you know, for a little bit of prying, you can do that. And the bottle cap lifter works really good. So yeah, I've used the little flathead bottle cap lifter a lot. And I've also used my can opener a lot. Not as a can opener, but that's kind of a sharp, not sharp, but it's not dull either. Little blade there, I've used that as a scraper. It's a really good scraper to get gunk off something. And it's also good for a little light prying. I wouldn't do too heavy prying on that or you will bend it. But that's got a little bit of an edge to it. You could put a really sharp edge on it if you wanted to. And it's got a pretty good screwdriver. You can use these for Phillips, although it's got a much better three-dimensional Phillips head in here. But yeah, I've used that quite a bit too. I have opened a can or two with it, but just to do a comparison video with my combination tool on my compact. And it works good. It's a good can opener. And this is one of my favorite layers. This is a really good magnifying glass. And you've seen me use this in videos too to give you a close-up view of the tang stamps on pocket knives or the nibs on fountain pens. And it works really good for that. So anything like a splinter or anything, you want to get a good close-up view. It works well. Not very sturdy, but I've had this for 2 years now and I've carried it a lot. I'm careful with it. But I haven't broken it yet, so I think if you're careful and you just pull it out when you're going to use it and then put it right back, it should last for a long time. This is a great three-dimensional Phillips head screwdriver. For a little pocket multi-tool, this one's great. I don't think you could ask for much better. And I've bent this one up a little bit because I've really torqued on it, and it's held up pretty good. So that's a great three-dimensional Phillips, and it's got that same kind of little groove milled out in there, and it's got a really good half stop and an excellent three-dimensional screwdriver. And then the next layer is a little pair of pliers. Not a great pair of pliers, but it's an excellent pair of super tweezers. So anything you need to pinch and pull, it'll do it. And it will turn small nuts, but I wouldn't put a lot of pressure on it. But as something just to pinch and pull, this is great. I use it a lot. Anything that's got like a sealed label on it, like a medicine bottle or anything that you just need to grab that you really can't get your fingers on, this will do it. And you can get a good grip and then yank it off. So an excellent little tool. I really like having this. Next up is probably my most used tool, and that is scissors. I've got a bushy beard, and I'm always using these scissors to trim up my beard. Also use it to open packages like, little snack packages or anything, and you want to cut it off neatly and not just rip it off. This works well. Great pair of scissors. Victorinox makes what I believe are the best scissors on multi-tools. It's spring-loaded just like the little pliers are, and sometimes that little spring can get knocked off there, but you just push it back on. And you can buy these springs too if you want to replace them. I've never had to. I've kind of refurbished an old flea market find and put a new spring in one, but I've never worn out a spring. And it works well. Great pair of scissors. All right. What other tool gives you a fish scaler? I can't think of one, but there's one on here. It's got a fish scaler and a little bit of ruler. And you know what? I've used this. I've used it to clear the paper jam and copying machines. Anything that you need to get into a tight space and move something around. Also use this to rebuild some vintage Zippos to kind of pluck out the wicking material in there and then stuff some new one in there. It works well for that. So just any tight space that you need to get into and manipulate something, this will do it. And it's got quite a bit of reach to it. It's got probably maybe a little more reach than a knife blade does. But you couldn't stick this into a tight place and manipulate it without either dulling the blade or cutting whatever it is you're trying to manipulate. But with this, you can. As a fish scaler, I don't know. I've never scaled a fish with it, and I never would because I don't want to get fish scales inside my knife. Next up is a saw blade, and this is a really good saw blade. I've used it a lot, as you can tell. Anytime I'm out in the yard, I've got a little fruit tree orchard and some shrubbery around, and if I'm walking around in the yard and I see something that needs to be cut, I've got this in my pocket. I don't have to walk all the way back to the house and get a proper saw. This will get through, tree limbs that are about that big. So that's a pretty good sized little shrubbery limb or tree limb. And it cuts really well, and I haven't dulled it up yet, and I've used it a lot. It'll also get through thin wall PVC. It doesn't do a great job, but it will do it. Next up is a file, and it's a very aggressive file. You can use it on your fingernails, but it's really aggressive. So it's not great for fingernails, but it'll work. And there's a cutting edge on this side. There's a cutting edge on this side. And then there is a cutting edge right on the end there. This will also get through thin wall PVC. You're going to be there a while, but it will do it. And it's great if you cut a board or you cut some PVC and you just want to smooth over the edge. Perfect for that. And I've used it quite a bit, and I haven't dulled it yet. I have used it on my fingernails, but not the greatest for that. And I've used the knife blades quite a bit. I use this one the most. This is my package opener, and you can tell I have used it a lot. And I sharpen it every now and then, but I kind of neglect it. But I continue to use it. It's got glue on there from packing tape, but it works well. It's great as a package opener. You can put your finger there, and you're not going to go too deep into the package. And it's a pretty good little knife. And the big one is a good knife too. And you would think that would be awkward, but actually that big handle there gives you a really good grip. And I think it's in a good position, or it is for me anyway. You can hold it in that manner and put your thumb behind it, or if you're holding it like that, it gives you something really to hold on to. If it were in the middle, it would be pretty awkward, I think, but since it's off to that side, and that's the right size for a right-hander too, I think that actually the width of this thing makes this very usable, sometimes more than a thinner Swiss Army knife. You don't really get a good grip on that, but on this, you can get a good grip. So a good knife blade. All right, for me, this is not too big. I wear office slacks, I work in an office, and I don't find that to be too heavy, especially with this suspension clip. It doesn't consume my pocket. Here lately, I have carried this Deluxe Tinker. It also has a pair of super tweezers, but it's, just a few more layers, and you could have a SwissChamp. And it's not that much bigger or heavier. Maybe a few ounces and a few more layers, and you've got a little more utility. And for me, I don't mind it at all. I really like it. I think it's great. All right, thanks to everyone who has subscribed. And don't forget about the giveaway. At 8,000 subscribers, I will give away a bunch of stuff. So stay subscribed, click the little bell icon, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.